basketball. She will go down as the best player to ever play this.
Scoops it up and in. Magnificent move by the GOAT.
So many different plays.
Here's Clark using the Boston screen. Slings it into Howard. Howard draws two, deflected out of bounds with 3 to shoot. Sophie Cunningham is Clark catch. Attack, floater is good.
She's the talk of every sports network, breaking records, draining logo threes, and drawing record-breaking crowds. Caitlin Clark isn't just dominating college basketball, she's shifting the entire landscape of women's sports. But now comes the ultimate question: how does she stack up against the legends? Can she match the fierce leadership of Sue Bird, the unstoppable scoring of Diana Taurasi, or the all-around brilliance of Tamika Catchings? This isn't just about hype, this is about legacy. We're diving deep, comparing Clark's stats, skills, mentality, and impact with some of the greatest names the WNBA has ever seen. Who truly comes out on top when the brightest new star is measured against the most iconic legends of the game? Get ready for a dramatic, analytical showdown between eras, styles, and greatness itself. Caitlin Clark versus the WNBA's best. The debate starts right here. When we talk about greatness in women's basketball, a few names instantly rise to the top. Diana Taurasi, the White Mamba, the WNBA's all-time leading scorer. Sue Bird, the unparalleled playmaker with 5 Olympic golds and 4 WNBA titles. Tamika Catchings, a defensive force and team leader like no other. Maya Moore, a once-in-a-generation winner whose impact extended far beyond the court. These women defined eras, dominated leagues, and became icons of excellence. But now, a new force has entered the conversation. Her name is Caitlin Clark, and she's not waiting for greatness. She's demanding it. Caitlin Clark's rise has been nothing short of meteoric. Hailing from West Des Moines, Iowa, Clark arrived at the University of Iowa with hype and somehow exceeded it. From her very first season, she lit up scoreboards with deep threes, no-look passes, and a competitive fire that screamed leadership. But what makes Caitlin Clark's comparison to the WNBA legends so fascinating is how she blends styles from across generations. She's not just a scorer, or a passer, or a shooter. She's a revolution. Let's start with Diana Taurasi, often regarded as the greatest to ever do it. Taurasi's longevity, confidence, and clutch gene are legendary. She's built for the big moment, a player whose presence shifts the atmosphere in the arena. Caitlin Clark? She's got that same aura. When Caitlin pulls up from the logo, there's an electricity in the crowd. You can't teach that. Her shooting range may even eclipse Taurasi's. While Taurasi dominated with grit and efficient shot-making, Clark combines that with volume and flair. But beyond the shots, both share a fiery leadership, a refusal to lose. Taurasi was the heart of every team she played on. Clark, even as a college player, already looks like the heartbeat of whatever team she's on. Now, let's talk Sue Bird, the ultimate floor general. Bird was never the loudest or flashiest, but she was the smartest. Her basketball IQ was off the charts. She could read defenses 2 plays ahead, find teammates with laser vision, and control the game like a conductor. Caitlin Clark? She's cut from the same cloth, but adds a modern twist. Where Bird orchestrated, Clark improvises. Where Bird threaded needles, Clark bends space. Watching Clark pass is like watching magic. No-look bounce passes in transition, overhead dishes across the court, wraparounds in traffic. She's not just making plays, she's changing how we think about women's basketball offense. Sue Bird is a timeless icon, and Clark, at just 22, already has the poise, vision, and creativity to challenge that legacy. Let's not forget Tamika Catchings, the epitome of hustle, heart, and defensive intensity. Catchings was a relentless force on both ends. Few players embodied leadership and grit like her. Caitlin Clark may not yet have Catchings' defensive legacy, but don't overlook her tenacity. Clark leads by emotion. She plays with raw energy, lifting her team in crucial moments. When Iowa needed a spark, it was always Clark who stepped up, yelling, driving, pulling up from 30 feet. Catchings and Clark share a mental toughness that can't be measured on a stat sheet. And then there's Maya Moore, perhaps the most efficient winner in women's basketball history. Moore won at every level: high school, college, WNBA, Olympics. and did it with elegance and composure. Her shooting was pristine, her defense airtight, her mindset bulletproof. Caitlin Clark? She's still writing her winning resume, but her offensive output rivals Moore's early career numbers. Clark averages over 30 points per game with a usage rate through the roof, yet she still manages to keep her team competitive at the highest level. Moore might be the gold standard for winning, but Clark could very well rewrite that narrative if her career trajectory continues. Now, let's talk numbers. Stats don't tell the whole story, but in Caitlin's case, they scream history. She holds the NCAA Division I record for all-time points, men's or women's. She's the only player to ever record over 1,000 points and 300 assists in a single season. Her scoring average dwarfs that of Taurasi's college days. Her assist totals rival Sue Bird's prime. In an era of defensive scouting, shot tracking, and hyper-athletic defenders, Clark is putting up video game numbers. And she's doing it while being the focal point of every opposing game plan. But greatness isn't just about numbers, it's about impact. And Caitlin Clark's impact is seismic. She's the face of women's college basketball. Every game she plays sells out. She's drawn millions of new fans to the sport, broken viewership records, and turned women's hoops into appointment television. Her games are broadcast in primetime. Her jersey is a top seller. ESPN, Nike, Gatorade. Everyone wants to be part of the Clark phenomenon. This is influence. This is culture-shifting power. And that's exactly what the legends brought to the table. Diana Taurasi led a generation into the WNBA spotlight. Sue Bird redefined leadership and longevity. Tamika Catchings showed what it meant to be relentless. Maya Moore raised the standard for excellence and justice. Caitlin Clark is continuing that legacy and pushing it further. Now, of course, some critics argue she's not there yet. And sure, she hasn't won a WNBA title. She hasn't played 15 seasons. She hasn't guarded legends night after night. But remember this, neither had Taurasi, Bird, or Moore when they were 22. Legacy takes time, but greatness often shows itself early. And with Caitlin Clark, greatness isn't just visible, it's blinding. Let's also consider the generational shift. The legends built the foundation. Now Clark is building the skyscraper. Social media, nil deals, live streams, brand partnerships. She's thriving in a more complex, pressure-filled, spotlight-driven world. Every move she makes is under a microscope, and yet she delivers. That mental resilience is part of her legend in the making. Skill-wise, Clark has arguably the deepest shooting range the women's game has ever seen. Her offensive gravity warps defenses, opening up lanes for teammates. She has the tools to dominate in a faster-paced, three-point-centric WNBA. And her versatility, playing both point and shooting guard, leading in scoring and assists, makes her a hybrid weapon unlike anything we've seen before. So, who wins? In a one-on-one matchup, it's impossible to say definitively. Diana Taurasi might bully her to the post. Sue Bird might outfox her with experience. Tamika Catchings might shut her down defensively. Maya Moore might outclutch her. But what makes this debate thrilling is that Caitlin Clark has the tools to beat them all. In time, Caitlin Clark represents the next evolution of women's basketball. She's not here to just play alongside the legends. She's here to challenge them, to stand shoulder to shoulder with icons, and to forge her own path. She doesn't need to be the next Taurasi or the next Bird. She is the first Clark. And maybe, just maybe, when a story is written, Caitlin Clark will be the name that future stars are compared to. This isn't just about stats, or titles, or matchups. It's about what she means to the game. She's a movement, a moment, a new era. And the most exciting part? She's only getting started. Now it's your turn to be part of the conversation. Do you believe Caitlin Clark has what it takes to surpass WNBA legends like Diana Taurasi, Sue Bird, Tamika Catchings, and Maya Moore? Or do you think the experience, championships, and sustained dominance of those icons still set them apart? This is one of the most exciting debates in sports right now, and your voice matters. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Who do you think would win in their prime? Caitlin, or any one of these legends? Which of her skills impress you the most? The deep threes, the no-look passes, the fearlessness in clutch moments? Or do you think she still has a long way to go before she's in the GOAT conversation? And if you're as passionate about women's basketball as we are, don't forget to hit that like button. It helps us reach more fans who care about the game. Subscribe to True WNBA for weekly deep dives, player comparisons, emotional storytelling, and everything you need to stay connected to the sport's rising stars and legendary icons. Share this video with your fellow basketball lovers, and let's bring more spotlight to the women who are changing the game, one play at a time. This isn't just a video, it's a movement. Be part of it, right here, right now on True WNBA. Caitlin Clark isn't just rewriting record books, she's challenging everything we thought we knew about the future of women's basketball. She's sparking debates with legends, turning college arenas into national stages, and inspiring millions with every deep three and fearless assist. But this story is far from over. The beauty of sports is that it's always evolving. Just like Diana Taurasi once emerged from UConn to take over the league, just like Sue Bird commanded respect as the ultimate floor general, just like Maya Moore captured our hearts with her clutch brilliance, Caitlin Clark now carries the torch. And with each game, she gets closer to not just joining the conversation, but leading it. Whether you believe she's already in the same league as the greats, or still has mountains to climb, one thing is clear. We are witnessing something truly special. We're watching the making of a legend in real time. So if you've made it this far, thank you for being part of this journey. Here on True WNBA, we don't just tell stories, we celebrate legacies, question greatness, and shine light on every jaw-dropping moment that makes this game unforgettable. Stay tuned, because Caitlin Clark's rise is just one chapter in a much bigger book, and the best pages are still being written. Until next time, keep believing in greatness, keep celebrating women's basketball, and keep coming back to True WNBA, where the real game begins.